All right, Justin, good to see you.
What's up? Great to see you too, bro.
Good to sit down with a fellow organizer.
Always, man. That's the crucial thing that we need out here.
I know.
Organizers trying to talk to organizers.
I agree, totally. Well, this is a pleasure for me. This is an honor for me. I've admired your work from a distance for a good number of years. You've done a great job. So I think a good place to start is, I think most people in our community will know who you are. They'll probably recognize you from Render ATL, but there are some that won't. So as a way to get started, why don't you go into a little bit about your background, how you ended up where you are, and then we'll kind of, end at Render.
Got you.
Yeah.
So my name is Justin Samuels. I am the founder and CEO of a technology conference called Render ATL. And I call that my Batman job because I have two jobs technically. I'm the founder and CEO of the conference, but I also have a full-time job at a company you might have heard of called MailChimp. And
maybe we use MailChimp. I don't know.
Hopefully so. Yeah. But I have been a senior engineer over there for the last 5 years now. Mm-hmm. And by way of acquisition, I work into it now too. Mm-hmm. So how did I end up where I am now was I've always had a knack for organizing, like whether it's organizing people or whether it's organizing even my pets at home. I've always liked to get people and things into harmony. Yeah. Because we all have commonalities that you won't even know exist until we all come together. Yeah. And early on, I was the founder of a video games club at my high school because I had felt like I was the only person out there who could I identify with playing video games. Crazy, right? Right. We're talking about 2005.
I'm old enough to remember that well.
So I founded that, did the exact same thing when I went to college. I went to Mississippi State University, began a whole video games club there, which actually expanded beyond our campus to the SEC. So we began to play video game tournaments at other schools, whether it's like at Ole Miss or University of Alabama. I began organizing other video game tournaments. Yeah. So from that, I started to really develop a knack for competitiveness, but also, again, going back to bringing people with commonalities into one shared room. Yeah. And once I got my job in tech after college graduation, I said, well, I don't feel like there's a conference happening in ATL that will allow people to come together in harmony and talk about the things that they are building in ATL and even beyond. And that is the genesis of Render ATL.
I was going to ask how it got started because so many people have attended or are planning to attend or have seen it from a distance. Yeah. And I know a lot of people have wondered, a lot of people ask me, what's the origin story of All Things Open? How did you come up with this? What was the reason that you did this? So, take us through the evolution of Render, right? Yeah. I think you've done it, how many years?
4.
Okay.
But it's year 4 with an asterisk mark. And the reason why I had the asterisk mark is because of a boogeyman word as an organizer we don't like to say, COVID.
That's a bad word.
It was a horrible time. It's the aspect of not being able to bring people together. And that is what we stand for as organizers, right? So in 2019, that is when I had the vision. Or I should actually say in April. I was at a smaller conference called MagnoliaJS that happens in Jackson, Mississippi.
I'm familiar with it, yeah.
And I got a fun fact about that. I gave them the actual name of MagnoliaJS. It was supposed to be called a blues con. Oh. And I was like, no, let's go with Magnolia. And they were like, oh, that's amazing. So yeah.
But, wow, that's really cool.
Right.
I had no idea.
Yeah. But back to this point, though, I was at Magnolia, and I said, whoa, like, if they could do this in Jackson, Mississippi, then we could do this in ATL. I mean, we have the world's busiest airport where you can catch flights to anywhere you want to, right? Yep. So why do we not have a major tech conference? So we had a Connect Tech, which... they are great.
Yeah, they are.
Yep. And I know Pratik and Vincent well. Yep. But I was like, no, y'all, we need a conference that will rival something like dream a force or that will rival
South by Southwest.
South by Southwest. I wanted the festival and the conference. So that was my vision right there. And when we began in June of 2019, COVID shut us down. Had to wait, which was the hardest thing ever, having to wait, right?
Wow.
But it was actually a blessing, because if we probably would have had it in June of 2020, there's a ton of holes that we didn't have time to really fix.
Right.
Having that extra time really allowed us to firm it up.
Right.
And then September 2021, we had the first conference with only 350 people, which was great. That is a good first pass.
It is, yeah.
Then we turned it around and had the next one in June of 2022. In only 8 months, we went from 300 attendees to now 1,500. And then turned it around again in the whole year, 1,500 at 3K.
Wow.
And now this past year, we got from 3 to now 5K.
Wow.
And partners coming like crazy, attendees coming like crazy. And in that same time, too, we added on a whole music festival. So now, going back to what you said about South by,
Right.
that is where we're getting that essence now, where we had a concert with about 8 to 10, 1,000 people out there, completely free of charge.
Right.
You know, it was our ode to the public. And then the city created ATL, a Tech Week, which now anchors our conference. So there's even more people in town
very smart.
just going to everything tech.
That's awesome.
So I'm like very passionate, and I'm very proud that it isn't just about the conference.
Sure.
I believe in JFK's quote of, or his campaign slogan, that a rising tide raises all boats.
Yep.
And I love that, because I don't represent the conference per se. I represent the South.
Sure.
Or I like to call it the Silicon South.
Yeah.
And it is truly becoming a hub now where we can all do all things tech, with the conference being the nucleus of that.
Sure. Yeah, that's great. So from an organizer standpoint, any best practices, any best ways to do things? Because if you're like me, you've made a lot of mistakes. You've probably learned some lessons the hard way. I'm going out on a limb by saying that.
Yeah.
I've made a
It's
ton
very
of
true.
them.
Very true.
But the upside of that is that, yes, I have made mistakes, but I've also learned a lot of lessons from those mistakes. So maybe one or two that, if someone out there that's listening or watching is considering organizing a meetup, or maybe even a small tech event, or maybe it's a non-tech event, maybe it's just an event in general. Any best practices or things to keep in mind as they spin something up?
Hey, this is Todd with All Things Open. Thank you so much for watching. We truly appreciate it. Also, be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button. We've got a lot of new content coming we think you're going to be interested in. One final favor, be sure to go to allthingsopen.org to see everything that we do. Back to the video.
I think the biggest thing that I constantly preach to my team is humility. I don't mean humble in the sense that you cannot talk your shit.
Right.
Talk your shit.
Right.
You should be extremely proud about what you have accomplished.
Right.
Very few people can bring together hundreds, even a group of 20.
Right.
It's hard to do. So talk your shit. So I don't mean it in that sense.
Sure.
What I mean is the story of Icarus, where, if you're not familiar, his dad made him wings, and he told him, make sure you don't fly too high to the sun. If you fly too high to the sun, your wings are going to melt. And he heard his dad, but he got too cocky. And he said, no, I could go high, I could go low. And he kept going higher and kept going higher. And the next thing you know, his wings melted apart, and he dropped and hit the ground, and he had perished.
It's a great story.
And that is a great analogy for what you got to be like as an organizer. It's okay to be confident. You got to be confident if you want to make a sale, if you want to get partners, if you want to have the thing happen. You got to be confident. But also, you cannot fly too low, because if you're too low, you're going to hit a building, in his case, or you won't have no confidence in yourself, and other people will also see that too. It is hard to buy a dream of a person that also does not believe in their own dream.
Yeah.
And if you just remain a medium the whole time, not too high, not too low, it's okay to go a little bit high and then come back down, a little bit low and then come back up, you will find great success as an organizer.
Yeah.
The other thing too, which is just a skill to have, Be great at a resource management, whether that is with your finances, knowing how much money is coming in and out, who you are paying at all times, how much you got left in the tank, people, being respectful of people's time, being respectful of your own time, and whether that is knowing how much you need to do left so that you could take care of your own health. Be great at a resource management.
That's great advice. That's great advice. I don't struggle with that, but certainly I've learned to deal with that better the more years that I've done this. Now this is year 12 for All Things Open.
Ooh, congratulations to you.
I know it's a minor miracle, but I'm thankful and I'm so grateful. And it's because of our network and our community that's enabled us to stay around this long. So I'm so grateful. But that's really great advice, because resource management is something, it's a skill, and it's something that's learned, right? Because in the beginning I wasn't so great, but I got much better at it. I improved at it the more I had to do it. And I'm just thankful that it worked out. Where can people find you? Where can they learn more about the conference and about you personally?
So you could find me on all platforms at Doug D. Bugger. THUG
That's really cool.
DEBUGGER. It's because I am a beast at debugging any problem. I like to I sit there and I will bully the code.
I love that.
The whole time.
I love
If you want to learn more about the conference, renderatl.com. One thing I want to say too, I thank you for having me on the podcast. We are passionate about meeting organizers and being very out there for our community as a whole, the Silicon South. One of the things too is that we are passionate about our merchandise. Like I have this shirt on right now. We love making cool merch.
I like it.
And I actually brought some merch to give you right now.
Oh, my.
Yeah, so this year we did a crossover collab with this watch brand called Italian Twine.
You're kidding.
And this is a one of 100 watch, where if you look closely in the background, that is a circuit board, and then that's our render peach right there.
That.
And like I said, it's only one of 100 of them.
Wow.
Yep.
You're kidding.
Yeah, man.
That's fantastic.
Anytime, man. So here you go.
Oh my goodness.
That is for you, sir.
I tell you what, I need to, I've learned a few things here today. As long as I've been doing this, there's always something new to learn, and you've taught me a few things. You are, I can see why you've been so successful.
Thank you so much.
That's really great. Well, thank you for sitting down with me. I've wanted to do this for a long time, and again, I've admired your work for a long period of time. So
thank you.
I would encourage anybody watching or listening to check you out. Attend Render. I think it takes place in June of 2025.
Yep. It is always middle of June.
Middle of June.
Yep, each and every year.
Thank you. Really great to see you.
Thanks so much, bro.
Yeah.
Thank you.